Batman was created in 1938 by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. The Cape Crusader later made his first appearance in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939, but his origin was not revealed until Detective Comics number 33 and fleshed out a little more in Detective Comics number 47. In that first issue, we see Batman for the first time, and a legend is born. In that first issue alone, he fights murderers, corporate corruption, and even had his first encounter with the villain known as Red Hood. Soon after, Batman gained immense popularity and even gained his own film serials and TV series in 1966. In the 1980s, comics were a dying art, a medium that became saturated with boring characters and ridiculous storylines. Every so often, you get yourself a Watchmen or a Death in the Family, but none of them would reshape the comic book industry like 1986's The Dark Knight Returns, written and drawn by Frank Miller. It was a brand new and completely different take on what fans were used to, but before we talk about the story, we have to talk about its creator. Frank Miller was born in 1957 and grew up as a huge comic book fan, and as an artist, he was self-taught. Before his big break on The Dark Knight Returns, he worked on other titles with Marvel such as Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange. He even wrote his own original story with DC before Batman titled Ronin. It was a dystopian future in a New York-type city, with its main focal point being a reincarnated samurai. While he was recruited by DC, he was living in the New York neighborhood of Hell's Kitchen, where the character of Daredevil resides. DC was not in his best position financially and wanted to revitalize their comics, so they hired Frank to write his own original Batman story. Now, when you think of Batman, what do you think of? This? This? Or this? How about this? Now, this is the Batman that he decided to write about. The story is in a not-too-far future with a retired 50-year-old Batman who quit crime fighting after the death of the last Robin, Jason Todd. Then, with the rise of an evil gang of mutants, Batman is forced to come out of retirement to stop them. In his first attempt, he does not succeed, but he reluctantly gains the help of a girl who wants to become the next Robin, and, after some training and an adjustment of his mindset, he prevails. Then, some other hijinks ensue, and with the now rehabilitated and repaired Two-Face. Then, after the return of Batman, another infamous character returns, the Joker. He had retired after Batman did because he realized without Batman, crime was pointless. The Joker, now fueled by his new desire to show Batman what he does to people, Joker escapes his protective custody and goes on a killing spree. This all leads to a final confrontation between him and Batman, leading to the Dark Knight snapping his neck, and with the Joker satisfied that he made Batman break his one rule of never killing people, Batman then continues to fight crime until he is met with a greater confrontation. The confrontation is with the Man of Steel himself, Superman. During the confrontation, Batman had set a plan in motion to fake his death, and then, just as Batman is gaining the upper hand and beats Superman, yes, Superman, he dies. This was a bold story when it was released, and it had great reception, and even went through 4 reprints, which, up to that point, had never been done for a comic book ever. It was even quoted as being the greatest Batman story ever told, and one of the greatest literary pieces of our generation. Well, not our generation, but it gained all kinds of praise as well for the dynamic artwork and how it moved so well. You could see it in your head as a movie, said a writer of the Rolling Stone.
What was that? Just the right kind of cut above the eyes. The kind that bleeds.
The thing that grasped readers the most was the way that Batman was depicted, not as a slim, feeble crime fighter who lurked in the shadows, but as a large, hulking menace for criminals. Not a perfect hero who is flawless in every way, but a broken man haunted by his past and a lifetime of dealing with psychotic maniacs. It ushered in a new era of comics, where they all started to take a more serious tone, leading to things like the death of Barry Allen Flash and even Superman. It also served as the inspiration for 4 more icons. The reason we chose this artist/writer is because we all like Batman, and he's one of the writers to make Batman into the character he is today. He personally influenced me in my art style and my career path in life. He also influenced other artists who continue to pay tribute to him today. His influences can be seen in all kinds of superhero media today, from Michael Keaton's Batman all the way back in 1989 to most recently in 2016's Batman v Superman portrayed by Ben Affleck. All in all, I think Frank Miller is very influential in the comics industry because he showed that we don't need bright, flashy colors and wacky storylines to make something good or interesting. It just needs to feel real.